How y'all feel about Paige? Because I have a different take about Paige. I think she's nice, of course, but I haven't been as high with her as everybody else is.
Nah, I think she got hurt. I think that kind of hurt her a little bit when she tore her ACL. I think that just set her back. Like she was super cold before she got hurt, but now I think she good. But I don't think she Juju, and I don't think she Caitlin. And at one point, I used to think she was better than Caitlin.
But there are differences to their game. There are similarities to their game. And I want to first state that I am not a Paige Bueckers hater. I think she's a great player. But it's like comparing a scalpel to a firework.
Now, you guys know Paige Bueckers very well, AZ's teammate. Is she that kind of player as well? I mean, is she that level of player like Caitlin Clark? She doesn't quite have that fire. But she definitely
does.
It's
different. It's different.
In their first ever WNBA showdown, Clark didn't just beat Paige Bueckers. She made a statement in the court and in the interview room. This wasn't about who scored more. It was about who owned the moment. And Clark, she owned everything. But of course, it wasn't always this way. Paige was the chosen one, UConn's golden girl, the future of the game. So, how did the overlooked Iowa kid turn the tables this hard? And what exactly did she mean by unfinished business with Paige? Is this rivalry just heating up or already over?
Okay, you're not going to Disney World, but you were the MVP of the FIBA U19s. Great game. Did you expect you would have to play your best here today to get the gold medal?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Walsh reiterated a lot that Australia is a really good team, and he thought it would come down to a possession game. I mean, I never knew it was going to be that close. Kind of expected that we would just make a run at the end of the game like we did last time, but a lot of credit to Australia. They came out and played really well.
Before Caitlin Clark lit up pro arenas and became a walking headline, she was just a high schooler watching her dreams get handed to someone else, and that someone was Paige Bueckers. Let's rewind the clock. The year was 2019. Paige was the crowned queen of women's basketball, top recruit in the nation, social media star, and already committed to Clark's dream school, UConn. Clark, meanwhile, was ranked lower and left out, forced to pivot to Iowa while Bueckers took the path everyone said led to greatness. If you think that didn't sting, think again. And then came 2021. Paige wasn't just a freshman at UConn, she was the freshman. National Player of the Year, ESPN segments galore, the next face of women's basketball. Clark was dropping triple-doubles in Iowa, but still an afterthought in the shadow of Paige's media machine. The hierarchy had been set. Paige was the star. Caitlin? Just entertaining. But we go any further first. Like this video if you think the refs are unfair to the Fever, comment if you disagree, and don't forget to subscribe. Then, fate pulled a plot twist. Paige got injured. Out. Done. And while the cameras faded on her, Caitlin Clark stepped into the spotlight like she'd been waiting her whole life. Back-to-back championship game appearances, record-breaking stats, and suddenly, the girl who'd been second best became the sport's lightning rod. By the time she hit the WNBA as the #1 pick, the roles had flipped. The dream school reject was now the dream.
What's up? Chelsea Sherrod here inside the PNC Bank Sports Corner. Paige Bueckers will run it back at UConn. The Husky star, who will be sidelined this season as she recovers from a torn ACL, announcing that she will be returning to the university for the 2023-2024 season.
You want irony? Paige Bueckers came back healthy, stronger, and laser-focused, and still got drowned in the tsunami that is Caitlin Clark. That first WNBA matchup between them wasn't just a game, it was a reckoning, and Clark made sure it felt biblical. From the opening tip, Caitlin didn't just play Paige, she played with her. It wasn't about scoring explosions, it was control, passing wizardry, quarterback-level vision. She turned defenders into practice cones and used her teammates like chess pieces. Paige? She had her moments, a smooth 21 points and some highlight jumpers. But let's be honest, the game was over by halftime, and the scoreboard didn't lie. A 33-4 second quarter run is not a rivalry. That's a mugging. Let's not gloss over it. Paige got cooked, and she knew it. You could see it in the way she hesitated on closeouts, tried to force passes that weren't there, and started pressing late. Meanwhile, Caitlin played with joyful cruelty, slipping dimes, bombing logo threes, and making the entire Dallas Wings defense look like traffic cones on roller skates. This wasn't just tables table turning, this was the table flipping.
Yeah, I mean, we've always been friends. I wouldn't say like we're best friends and talk all the time. It's hard when you end up going your separate ways and are at different colleges and things like that. And, you know, I've always been a fan of hers and always been supportive, and I watch it.
Where the Indiana Fever scored over 100 points on the Dallas Wings. And Paige Bueckers did come out on top in the scoring stat. And this has led to a lot of talk about Paige Bueckers being better than Caitlin Clark, which I think people really just need to knock off.
If anyone thought this would be a peaceful reunion between former Team USA besties, think again. There's tension here, real tension. Not the fake, we respect each other post-game platitudes. We're talking about quiet glares, full court pressure, and the kind of plays that scream, I'm better than you and everyone's watching. Because that's what this really is. Two women who've been compared since high school now trying to erase the other in real time. And the fans, they ate it up. Twitter, X, was in full meltdown. Paige isn't built for this. Clark owns her. This is not a rivalry anymore. And it's true. If this was a measuring stick, Clark held the ruler. Even when Paige hit those gorgeous mid-range fadeaways or drilled logo threes, Clark would respond like a Marvel villain, calm, unbothered, and lethal. Every time Bueckers made a move, Clark made a better one. But let's not get it twisted. Paige isn't washed. Far from it. She's a problem. That second half showed what she's made of. Circus shots, crafty playmaking, and pure bucket-getting instinct. She's going to have her moment. But not today. Today was a statement. A power shift. And in a league that's still adjusting to the Caitlin Clark effect, this game was a neon sign. Paige might be a star, but Caitlin, she's the supernova.
We just got off of our live watch party for the Indiana Fever vs. Dallas Wings game, where the Indiana Fever beat the Dallas Wings 102-83.
Caitlin Clark welcomes Paige Bueckers to town. They had some classic college matchups in the NCAA tournament. And now they meet as pros for the very first time. Clark side-stepping three. Is good! Green had to take it away. Just a second turnover for Clark as Bueckers snaps that one. Bueckers through the contact to the bucket and the fan. Marks the rejection of Quinterly. Clark the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done. Touchdown, Fever. Bueckers is absolutely astonished she didn't get the whistle. Clark backing down Quinterly. 6-2, fading away and dropping it in. Beautiful. Here's Bueckers, the runner. Oh, what a pretty shot from Paige Bueckers. A very impressive performance today from the Indiana Fever as they thumped the Dallas Wings 102-83.
Caitlin Clark didn't just win, she orchestrated a symphony of humiliation with Paige Bueckers in the front row seat. This wasn't just buckets and assists. This was a public dissection. Indiana didn't just beat Dallas, they dismantled them, piece by piece. And at the center of it all was Clark, coolly dishing 13 assists like she was bored of scoring. Every pass was a flex, every fake was a smirk in motion, and every possession, a message. I run this league now. Let's talk numbers. Clark had a casual 14 points, but she also quarterbacked the highest scoring half by any team this WNBA season. That 33-4 run in the second quarter, that was surgical. By the time Bueckers finally found her rhythm in the third, the Fever were already warming up the bench. Paige finished with 21, impressive in a vacuum, but irrelevant in the final tally. And that's what stung, because when the lights were brightest, it wasn't her highlight reel playing on loop, it was Clark's. And let's be brutally honest, Paige got exposed on defense. Bad switches, missed reads. She got caught staring down Clark like she was watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat. And by the time she blinked, the ball was already in someone else's hands and in the basket. It wasn't just one game, it was the writing on the wall. Caitlin Clark doesn't need to outscore you to beat you. She'll just run your team off the floor and make sure you feel it every step of the way.
differences to their game, there are similarities to their game, and I want to first state that I am not a Paige Bueckers hater. I think she's a great player, but it's like comparing a scalpel to a firework.
Now that you finally played a game against Caitlin in the W, just what was it like? What was the atmosphere like today going head to head with her?
Yeah, it's fun. Anytime we can compete against each other. We're two competitors who just want to win and who have grown up to be playing against each other, playing with each other. So it's great, and the environment's great here. I feel like every game is just sell out, and so they have a great home court advantage. So overall, yeah, great environment.
This matchup wasn't just about who's better now. It was a sneak preview of who's taking the torch from the old guard. Clark and Bueckers aren't rookies anymore. They're the faces of a new WNBA era. And this game, this was their thesis defense. Clark brought the receipts. She was efficient, dominant, unbothered. She showed up with an NBA-caliber tempo and ran her offense like a Wall Street CEO. Paige, she played like a future star, but also like someone who still has something to prove. It's not over between them, not even close. In fact, this is the rivalry the WNBA needs. The one that makes you cancel plans and glue your face to the screen. You've got contrasting styles, differing journeys, and enough pre-written drama to fuel an entire 30 for 30. And the best part, they're just getting started. Paige is going to adjust. She's too smart, too polished, and too prideful not to. And Clark, she's going to keep doing Clark things. Breaking plays, breaking records, and breaking hearts. Because let's face it, what we saw was the beginning of a rivalry that could define the next decade. The Bird versus Taurasi of Gen Z. Clark with her long bombs and laser vision. Bueckers with her mid-range poetry and stone-cold swag. We need all of it. And now, with both of them locked into all-star starting roles, we're guaranteed another head-to-head just weeks from now. The saga continues, and you best believe Paige is circling that rematch in blood. So where does this go from here? Paige Bueckers has the blueprint now. She knows what it takes to compete at Clark's speed. But can she catch up? Can she evolve fast enough before this turns into another lopsided legacy? Because right now, Caitlin Clark is doing what Paige was supposed to do 3 years ago. Become the name in women's basketball. The one little girls mimic on outdoor courts. The one that turns every arena into a sold-out circus. There's no shame in being second best, unless of course you used to be number one. This is what makes the story tragic and perfect. Because once upon a time, Clark was the outsider, the backup plan, the girl who watched Paige Bueckers walk into the spotlight. Now it's reversed. Paige is the challenger, the dream school princess playing catch-up to a Midwest flamethrower with a vendetta. Every time these two meet now, it's not just a game. It's scorekeeping for the history books. They'll meet again, on the all-star court, in the playoffs, maybe even in the finals. And when they do, all of this, the rankings, the rejections, the resurrection, comes with them. This isn't just a rivalry. It's a revenge tour dressed up as destiny. And Clark? She just fired the first shot. Caitlin Clark just proved she's the moment and the future. Paige Bueckers? She's still in the script, but now she's chasing. If you want every step of this wild ride, hit that subscribe button. We're not just covering basketball. We're covering a battle for the throne.